In this video, we will learn about exothermic reactions. Those reactions which release heat are called as exothermic reactions. How can a reaction release heat? When the reaction happens, if it releases heat itself, that means the reaction happened without us giving the heat. The heat was released by the reaction. That means exothermic reaction. Some example of exothermic reaction is calcium oxide vigorously react with water. Why does it vigorously react with water? Why we don't need to give it energy to react with water? Because it forms a stable compound with water, that is calcium hydroxide. So calcium oxide, when it mixes with water, it will prefer to get converted to calcium hydroxide. That is why it releases heat. And we don't need to give heat to get this reaction happened. Okay, so we don't have to give heat to make this reaction happen. So the calcium hydroxide is found by itself and even it releases heat. Okay, so that is called exothermic reaction. So to produce slakered lime, this is called slakered lime. Then a dilute solution of slakered lime water is produced, CaOH, calcium hydroxide. Combustion is an exothermic reaction. When we burn something, for example, we burn something, after burning it, do we have to do anything else? No, it just burns by itself. For example, if we burn wood, what will happen? The wood will keep burning. Why will it keep burning? Why doesn't it stop? Or why does it spread? Why does forest fire spread? Because it's an exothermic reaction. When wood burns, energy is released, heat is released. Okay, burning or combustion of wood, coal, kerosene or petroleum is an exothermic reaction. CNG, compressed natural gas, which is mainly methane, and LPG, which is mainly butane, burn in air to release huge amount of heat energy. Okay, so that is carbon. When it burns, we get CO2 plus heat. It burns by itself. It gives energy by itself. Okay, so that reaction which releases energy itself, and we don't have to do anything, we don't have to give it energy, we don't need to give energy to make the reaction happen, it releases energy itself. That reaction is called as exothermic reaction. Also, the reaction in which we have to give heat to make the reaction happen, that reaction is called endothermic reaction. Endothermic. Okay, now coming to the next example, respiration is also an exothermic process. Respiration which happens in mammals, living human beings. Respiration refers to the overall process by which oxygen is abstracted from air. We take oxygen from the air and then it's transported to the cells, okay, for the oxidation of glucose, so that the glucose is broken down. Okay, glucose is broken down with the help of oxygen to carbon dioxide and H2O, also a huge amount of energy. That is how we get energy, when glucose is transferred to heat. So this reaction is also exothermic. Do we do anything in our body to make the reaction happen? No, it happens by itself. So glucose, when we take oxygen, the reaction happens by itself, we get energy. Okay, this is the complete process of respiration. During digestion, carbohydrates we take as food are broken down into first glucose, then the glucose is broken down into CO2, H2O and energy. 2820 kilojoules of energy are released by 1 mole of glucose. Okay, oxygen binds itself with the hemoglobin present in red blood cells and is carried to millions of the body cells. Then the glucose is burned, that is, it gets oxidized. Burning means it takes oxygen, okay, oxidized to produce carbon dioxide, water and a huge amount of energy. The energy is released. Decomposition of vegetables is also an exothermic reaction. Vegetables decompose by themselves. If you leave a vegetable somewhere and keep it there for some days, eventually the vegetable will start decomposing. So that is also an exothermic reaction. It happens by itself. It releases energy. Okay, I hope this topic is clear to you.